So everyone knows that you have to practice to get good at guitar, but I'm still amazed at how little time I thought about practicing when I first started out. Now, there's no sense in banging my head over this now. Instead, I've decided to make this video and share with you what I wish I'd known. Here are my 19 best guitar practice strategies. My hope is you'll find a few of them that'll speed up your progress and help you make practicing more fun. Divide what you want to practice into 2 or 3 practice routines. Write them out. Instead of practicing the same thing every day, alternate routines. This allows you to spread out the things that you want to practice over a week instead of trying to cram everything into one day. Create a backup practice routine for those busy days when you don't think you're going to have time to really put in a good practice. Keep it short. I made mine just 12 minutes. I can always get in 12 minutes if I don't have to spend time figuring out what I'm going to practice. This keeps the momentum going, and this can be more important than actually long practice sessions. So here's a practice schedule that's worked for me, but might seem unusual to many people. I schedule a regular time daily to do my minimum 12-minute practice routine, usually early in the day. This is kind of a warm-up session. Later, I schedule a longer make progress session. This way I know I'll get my minimum practice in every day, no matter what. Often that first session inspires something that I want to work on more later in the day in my progress session. Buy a travel guitar. When you're traveling, practice in a corner of the waiting area at the airport while you're waiting for the plane. It's a great conversation starter, and I've met many cool people this way. In your practice sessions, work on 2 types of songs. The first type I'll call repertoire songs. These are easy songs that you can learn fairly quickly. The goal is to play the entire song. The second type I'll call development songs. These have something that you want to learn, such as a technique or new chord progression. For these, don't stress learning the entire song. That's the key. Any amount of time you spend will improve your guitar playing. By getting clear on this ahead of time, it helps eliminate all that negative self-talk that happens when you don't play the song all the way through from start to finish. As a bonus, some of the development songs will become repertoire songs over time. Schedule some of your practice time to create something. Make up something, no matter how simple. This can take the form of a melody, a chord progression, or both if you're playing fingerstyle guitar. Record your creations on the phone or the computer and listen back from time to time for inspiration. Record a simple chord progression and practice improvising over it. This is a fun way to practice both switching chords and creating interesting melodies. I like to save the ones I think I sound pretty good on and go back and improve them over a period of a few days. You can use your phone or your computer to record chords and melody together using free programs like GarageBand or Cakewalk. Practice improvisation using backing tracks. Start by playing a scale over the backing track. That's kind of your warm-up. Then begin noodling around and see what sounds good. At some point, record what you've done and then go back and listen to it. You'll be more objective when you're listening than when you're in the heat of improvising. Now, start again and play more what you liked and less of what you didn't like. This is a tried and true method to learn to improvise. Practice and exercise each practice session that's easy enough that you can work on all the little details and trying to get the technique just right. I usually do this as my warm-up. Do something every day to move your guitar playing forward. It doesn't have to be physical guitar practice. In fact, I recommend taking 1 or 2 days off a week from playing the guitar. On those days, listen to music, do theory, read something inspirational, or write out practice schedules for the week. Sometimes it's okay to noodle around. Sometimes you might want to go through scales while watching TV. At other times, you might want to just play songs that you know. This is all perfectly fine. But if you want to make consistent progress, don't let this take the place of conscious and methodical practice. Practice chunking. Break down something into small pieces and then put them together little by little. Think of it like a video game where you have to complete one level before the next. This turns what could be kind of a tedious thing into a game. Do ear training several times a week. This is easy to neglect because it's hard to see progress in the short run. In the long run, though, hearing notes in your head and reproducing them on your guitar makes you sound musical as opposed to just typing notes. One way to do this is to play short melodies or phrases. You can listen to a song or just hum a little tune, then figure out how to play it. Go for short, 2 or 3 notes to start with. Do this regularly and you'll be surprised at how good you get at it. In my RGS Academy, I'll do something called by-copy play. That's where I'll play short phrases and have the student play back what they heard. Play it. When practicing your scales, don't just practice going up and down the scale. That's good, but also practice playing parts of the scale and moving the notes around to kind of make little melodies or phrases. Otherwise, whenever you improvise, you'll sound like you're playing scales. Spend some time each week learning the fretboard. Learn the names of the notes, but also learn to hear the intervals or the relationships between the notes. Go slow to go fast. We've all heard it's important to play slow at first. But even though most students know this, they don't practice it, or they don't go slow enough. Spend some of your practice every week going really slow and getting every detail just right. This can be very difficult, but it's the way that you turn your guitar playing from sloppy into crisp and clean. Sometimes you'll want to play faster. Push yourself to the breaking point where the exercise or chord progression just falls apart. Then start over and play it at a tempo that you can actually play it correctly. Along with playing slow, this is how you build both speed and accuracy over time. Create a practice space that inspires you to want to practice. It doesn't have to be a big room. One of my favorite spots is a corner in the living room by the window. I enjoy the sunlight and the fresh air while I'm practicing. Make sure you have a comfortable chair, tuner, metronome, or anything else that you need for practicing. I like to have my phone there because I use it both for a metronome and a tuner. I also like to have my guitar on a stand right there ready to go. Timing. This gets a little attention by guitar players, but it's incredibly important. Record a simple chord progression with a metronome or a drum track. Listen to it, go back, and be critical of your timing. Then repeat that process over and over and try to improve how smoothly you change chords, as well as how well you lock into that groove. Because timing's so important, I've created an entire video on how to use a metronome in your practice. Go ahead and watch that next video now.